I've seen some channels where they're ridiculously getting, 50 to 60 games for their pickup videos every 2 weeks. You don't have to compete with them. I'm going to say that again. You don't have to compete with them. What is going on, YouTube? How are you guys doing today? We're going to have a little discussion video. Friendly reminder that you don't have to buy all those games you see all the time. You don't have to copy the YouTubers. You don't have to stock up in Fomo on buying all these games that you see. You watch that one YouTuber that just bought 20 games at a con. Now you think you have to go out and buy 20 games at a thrift store just to compete with them, just to be cool like them. You don't have to do it, guys. There we go. Alright. So in the past videos, we talked about FOMO. We've talked about copying YouTubers. We talked about how life makes you think that you have to compete with other people, when in reality, you're just competing with yourself. Now, the dangers of FOMO we've talked in the past is overspending, obviously overfilling your game room, just buying stuff to make yourself feel good. But the dangers of that is extreme. I've talked so much about how I used to just buy just to buy. I felt like I needed to have stuff just to have stuff, and for the most part, game hunting became more of a dopamine spike, a drug, or something. And yeah, it was no good, really. Man, it's just kind of talking about it. It's a little hectic. Now, I've talked about this a lot in the past, and obviously I'm going to start sounding like a broken record. But these are always just friendly reminders that you guys buy games that you're going to play. And I mean, this is not saying that you shouldn't collect, because obviously I still collect stuff. I just don't go as intense as I once did. I only purchase maybe one game a month. I only purchase, usually games I'm going to play too. So in the past 3 months, I've purchased around, I think it was 3 to 4 games. But I've gotten rid of probably about 20. And the games I purchased were, I think I got a trading card, shop simulator on Steam. I got Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake for my PS4. And I purchased Dot Hack Infection for my PS2. And the reason that these games were chosen was, one, the trading card game simulator one was chosen because that was a game I was going to play. I've actually put in, I don't have my Steam up now, but I've actually put a decent amount of time into that game, and I enjoy playing that game. It's kind of my little guilty, my guilty little pleasure game where I can just sit down and enjoy it. And the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake were purchased because I love those games, and I've been wanting to replay them, but I've never had them in the collection because I've always been focusing too much on buying other games that I was never actually able to buy those games. So now that I have them on those, I can actually sit down and play them, and I'm planning on playing them here pretty soon, which has kind of been the key component to a lot of this collecting now, is buying games that I'm going to play soon. A little bit in the last video, we talked about collection paralysis or gaming paralysis because we just had so many games that we didn't know what to play. And so this way, I can kind of create a stack. I can sit there and decide, hey, these are the next games I'm going to play. And yes, that will change down the road because there's always new, better games coming out. Or, my mood just might not be the same. But those two are purchased because I played them, I think it was about 2 years ago, and I enjoyed them. And I actually plan on wanting to replay through them because I think on Resident Evil 2 I played through on Leon, but I never played through the Claire side. So I've been wanting to do that. And Resident Evil 3 is a quick game. I think it's beat in 5-6 hours or something like that. I actually streamed it at one point, I think on Twitch, from start to finish in one night. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, it was kind of one of those fast guilty pleasure games. And Dot Hack Infection was purchased because I'm an RPG collector, mainly the stuff that was released in the USA. And growing up, when I had my PS2, I had Dot Hack Infection, and I never got around to beating it because I kind of gave up on it. I was not familiar really with the system and how it worked, so I kind of played a lot, but I just kind of went nowhere on the game. And that was just not, yeah, so I've been really wanting to kind of get back into it and try it out again. And really what this is kind of talking more about is, I've had a lot of people commenting lately that they don't know how to, God, I'm trying to think of the right words for this. They don't know how to regulate themselves. I've had people telling me that they do very good on their collecting by kind of controlling it a little bit, but then they kind of just go off the wagon, a relapse, if you say, like we say in the AA and NA world. But the key to everything is consistency and just trying to somewhat, just be consistent with what your goals are, what your feelings are, and just kind of working on it. Now, that's not to say that you can't every once in a while pick up a couple games, or like in the last one we had some good comments about, just kind of, it's okay every once in a while to get a couple games, guys. And I've said on here that it's not the end of the world if you buy some games that you're not going to play, if you are collecting them for a certain reason. Now, that's not to say that you can just snag 10 copies of a PS2 sports games just because you see them for $4 at Goodwill, which is insane nowadays. I don't really go into Goodwill anymore because, one, I don't see very many good games there, and two, they're so overpriced now it's not even worth it. But that doesn't mean that you can't buy games every once in a while. But, you have to have, if it's going with your goals and your passion. Gamer Almer says that, that she does her collecting as preservation, kind of to keep, just to kind of have them there to preserve for the future, and almost like kind of a good way to hold on to something, keep it clean, keep it whatever, for, future reasons to talk about the past, I guess. As awkward as that sounds, that's what it is for, and I can totally get on board with that. Especially if that's the main purpose of her collection. But I personally was not doing it for preservation. I was doing it for dopamine spikes. They get that happy-go-lucky feeling to not have, I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was doing it just to make myself feel good. And then later on, feeling that shame, that guilt, that displeasure, knowing that I shouldn't have purchased these games, and I don't know why I purchased those games. And I understand that it's frustrating because, you see a good deal. We've talked about FOMO so much on here. You see a good deal that you have the fear of missing out on it, that you don't want to not purchase it because you're worried that you'll never see it again. Personally, when we were talking in the last comments, I got asked, well, what if I see an extremely good deal that I can't turn down? And I was kind of just throwing those ideas back in my head and being like, well, what exactly do you mean by an extremely good deal? Now, I'm saying if you see Conker's Bad Fur Day for $20, buy that crap. Because if anything down the road, you can resell it. And I feel bad for saying this. I'm going to have those people that comment, oh, reseller, but if, in all honesty, if you see somebody selling Conker's Bad Fur Day for $20, they're okay with the price, you're okay with the price, snag it up, and if you never played it, or you were going to play it, then cool, but if not, down the road, if you need money in a pinch, especially with Christmas around the corner, some people don't understand that. Christmas around the corner, having kids, how expensive everything gets around the holidays. Sell that. Now, that was one conversation with the digital FOMO, was it's freaking hard. You can't resell stuff, so it's kind of good to have this physical media in case you have to resell in a pinch, which has been nice for me, because not only did I pick up those 3 games, but I also was able to pick up 2 or 3 games for my son, so that way he has some new games to play too, because he's starting to get into gaming. And he saw the Minecraft story game, and then he also saw Gang Beasts, which he loves to play on my PS5, so now he can play it in his room on his PS4. But in summary, just talking about this video, I know it was just kind of not really an extreme topic that was different than all my other ones, but it's just a reminder, and I know, it's going to sound like a broken record because we talk about this in a lot of videos, but like I said, it's just a reminder out there to guys, and if anybody's new to the channel too, that you don't have to buy games just to buy games. You don't have to watch, Metal Jesus Rocks, Radical Reggie, Pixel Game Squad, and channels like that, and they're getting these amazing pickups. They're getting all these, I've seen some channels where they're ridiculously getting, 50 to 60 games for their pickup videos every 2 weeks. You don't have to compete with them. I'm going to say that again. You don't have to compete with them. You're only hurting yourselves. Now, there's nothing wrong against those channels. That's what they do. There's nothing wrong against them, because personally, I enjoy watching them too, to see what they get sometimes. More along the lines of Radical Reggie and Pixel Game Squad, not really the other ones. But for the most part, I enjoy watching that too. But I've learned over the years that I had a personal quest for some reason to think that I'm competing with these guys to try and get a better collection, or I wanted to personally get something cooler than they did, and it just wasn't worth it. It, in the end, did not make me feel as good as I thought it would be, and it just wasn't worth it, guys. So I hope you guys are all having a great week. We're moving on into the weekend coming up. It's Thanksgiving month. As this is kind of the end of the video where I just kind of ramble on about a little bit what's going on. Gratitude month. I've been working on my gratitude list, so every day I've been writing in social media what I'm grateful for that day, and every day I choose something different. So this is just a reminder that to be thankful for what you have. Don't think about too much what you could have. Be thankful for what you actually have. Make a gratitude list. And then you don't have to post it to social media. If you want to get a little notebook, you want to get something in the day, and just write down something, 1 to 5 things every day which you're thankful for. Anything from your family, your friends, the weather, just having a house, whatever it is that you're thankful for. Because a lot of times we think so much about what we could have that we forget about what we actually have. So this month, especially, should do this all year round, but this month especially, with Christmas around the corner, Thanksgiving here, write stuff that you're thankful for, guys. And I'm thankful for you guys personally right now. That's what I'll say. I'm thankful for today, is having you guys here on the channel, having your comments to read, your support, and just hoping that any of these messages reach you guys well and help you in some way that if you need it. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I know this angle is kind of weird. I'm trying some new stuff out, so we'll see how this goes. But make sure that you guys, if you haven't, you check out the Super Retro Force channel. That's a channel that I'm on part of, where we do videos, different stuff. Almost like top 10s, discussion videos, reviews, and just it's a bunch of fun stuff over there. So me and a bunch of other content creators on that channel, so make sure you guys go check that out. Link in the description below. But yeah, guys, as always, stay retro, my friends, and we will see you in the next video. Have a great week, guys.
Super Retro Force.